In this lesson, we introduce biology as a concept and as a subject. Biology is a term gotten from two Greek words. Biology is gotten from two Greek words, bio and logos. Bio and logos. These are Greek terms which are used to describe the subject as a whole. Now, bio means life, while logos means study of. Bio means life and logos means study of. Putting these two terms together, we come up with a definition for biology. So, biology can be defined as the study of life. Biology is the study of life. So, in a more complete term, we can give a better definition as follows. Biology is a branch of natural science, that deals with the study of living organisms. So in this study, you study the origin, the evolution, the development and growth, as well as the structure, function, and composition of living organisms, of living things. So biology studies all of these in the subject. It begins with the origin and evolution, as well as the development and the structure and composition of all of the living organisms on Earth. This image gives us a glimpse of all we get to study as we study biology. It begins from the atomic and molecular level. So we study the atoms and the molecules and how they make up the cells of a living organism, the cellular organisms, and the different organelles make up the cell. And from the cellular level, we advance to the tissue level. Different cells coming together to give us the tissue, and then different tissues coming together to form an organ. Then the organs develop into a system which gives us the entire organism as a whole. So it begins from simple atoms and molecules to cell organelles, to cells, to tissues, organs, and the system, and then the entire organism. There is also branches of biology that examines the relationship between organisms in a population, how they interact with one another in the population, and then also the interaction of the organism to its immediate environment, forming the ecosystem, which is ecology of the organism, as well as the interaction of the organism with the entire planet Earth itself, the biosphere. So biology is really an interesting field of study where you get to learn so much about different living forms, how they interact with one another, how they interact with their environment, and how all of this has an influence to the planet Earth itself. Biology is such a wild and diverse field of study that it has several branches, a lot of branches where we begin to study different forms of living organisms. But the major or the main branches that biology can be divided into is microbiology. In microbiology, you get to study living organisms that can only be seen with the aid of a microscope. So organisms that can only be seen with the aid of a microscope are studied under microbiology. And examples of these organisms include viruses, bacteria, and protozoa. The next branch of biology is mycology. Mycology deals with the study of fungi. Study of fungi. Here you study about fungi forms such as yeast, microscopic forms like yeast, and large forms like mushrooms. Another branch of biology is botany. In botany, we study plants. It deals with the study of plants, all of the different plant forms on earth, from maize to rice to mangoes to large mahogany trees and so on and so forth. Another branch of biology is zoology. In zoology, we get to study animals, so the study of all of the different forms of animals on earth. So these are the three major branches of biology. There are so many other branches, but these 3 or 4 branches sums up the study of biology. Within these branches, there are several other sub-branches that you get to study. Now, since biology deals with the study of living organisms, how do we get to know what is living and what is non-living? Well, every object you find around you is either living or non-living. If you look around you, everything you find around you can be broadly classified into living or non-living. Living things are anything around you that is animate. Anything that is animate around you is a living thing. Animate means that it has life. It is able to express the features of a living organism, has the characteristics of a living organism, so it is animate. Those are living things. So examples could include your dog, hen, you yourself as a human, and several other examples. These are all living beings because they are animate. Why non-living things are things that are inanimate, objects around you that are inanimate, things that do not exhibit any features or characteristics of living organisms. So they are inanimate because they do not have life. So they are the direct opposite of living things. They are inanimate objects. Living things are animate beings. Non-living things are inanimate objects. So you can find several examples when you look around you. A table, a desk, your pen, books, balls, all of these are examples of non-living things. This image should help us visualize living things and non-living things. Over to our right, to our left here, you find different examples of living things. Here you find a boy who is studiously studying a book. A beautiful flower, a very colorful butterfly. A dog, a large tree, and a seedling that is just beginning to grow. What do all of these have in common? They are all animate. They are all living organisms, and so they are living things. We compare it to our right hand side in this image. We have a book, a chain, a flag, a shirt, a pen, and pencils. What do all of these have in common? They are inanimate. They do not have life, so they are inanimate objects, and so they are non-living things. So living things are clearly different from non-living things. And in biology, we are much more interested in the living things that we find around us and how they interact with the non-living components of the ecosystem or the earth. In this lesson, we've introduced the concept of biology and also the concept of living and non-living things.